how do we make that difficult decision? Because that's what it is. It's the hardest decision you'll make. It's the hardest day that you make, and you don't want to do it too soon or too late.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the vlog. If you're watching this one, I'm really sorry that you're here because I know how difficult this topic is and what a struggle it is. So we're gonna be talking about how to know when the right time is to euthanize your dog or cat. And I hate that phrase because it's never the right time and we all struggle with it, and we're all so close to our pets that it's hard to be objective. So I'm honored that this vlog is done with my colleague and wonderful friend, Dr. Mary Gardner, who is the co-founder of Lap of Love, which is a national company. It's an in-home euthanasia company, and she lectures and she has helped thousands of families with this decision, and she's gonna give us some great tips. We shot this video when we were just recently in St. Martin lecturing for Vet Vacation CE. So I do want to give you a little bit of warning. This was not, this was a video that we shot sort of last minute, and I'm holding the camera. So it's a little bit shaky at times, and we're out in the sun, but I think the information is really valuable, and Dr. Mary is just the best. So she has so many good tips about euthanasia and just trying to help us figure out when is the best time when our pets are suffering and when we're suffering as caregivers. And I've personally struggled with this decision with Paige, my Labrador that I had when I was in vet school, and my two kitty cats, Jeter and Raz. So I really hope that you find this information helpful. We're going to provide some links to Lap of Love. There's some great information on, that Dr. Mary talks about, and we'll provide some information there. So thanks for watching, and here we go. Hey everybody, welcome back to the vlog. So we're not in the typical location. We are in the beautiful, fantastic, gorgeous St. Martin. And I am joined today by the fabulous Dr. Mary Gardner, and we are on day 2 of 3. We're speaking for Vet Vacation CE, and we're having a great time.
Yes, it is work.
It is work, it is. But I am so fortunate to have you here today. So she is co-founder of Lap of Love, which is in-home euthanasia. And I really wanted to have you hop on today because this is a common question that we have, and so many people message me. And one of the big questions is, and I know you're gonna hate this, when is the right time to euthanize my pet? And it's something that many pet owners struggle with, not only with cancer, but with every disease. Every disease.
So many diseases, and just chronic, old age symptoms and problems.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So,
you want to want me to tell you how I help families?
Yeah,
Would that be helpful?
Yeah, so why don't you tell them how you help families, and then maybe a couple of tips for pet owners to help them figure out when is the best time.
The best, that's right, the best time. And even saying best is hard, right? We never want to say goodbye.
Right.
So is that best or right or whatever? How do we make that difficult decision? Because that's what it is. It's the hardest decision you'll make. It's the hardest day that you make, and you don't want to do it too soon or too late. And so a lot of times with Lap of Love, the families will call us just to help guide them through that decision-making process, and we have a lot of stuff on our website that helps as well. But
so let's tell them what the website is.
lapoflove.com. And so there's a lot of good information about assessing quality of life, and some tools on there which I'll talk about as well. So the first thing when I'm helping a family with quality of life issues is I want to know what their major disease or ailment is, because sometimes we know we have a diagnosis. It might be cancer, it might be arthritis or diabetes or something like that, because it also helps me understand what their symptoms that they're going to be dealing with are. Sometimes it might be nausea, maybe it's just mobility issues, but they're still eating and wagging their tail, and that's really hard for some owners because they perceive their pet as super happy, but yet they're still struggling with a lot of painful issues that they're just not telling us about. So I want to know first what the disease or the major problem is. A lot of these older guys have a number of problems. It's not just one. And then we're going to talk about the symptoms that they're going to have, especially as the disease progresses, and what to look out for. The next is also looking at the pet's personality and how they're dealing with some of the maybe medications that we're giving. Very classic St. Martin.
Okay, the seconds go by, you complain watch here.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
I want people to hear this information because it's so awesome.
No, okay, good. So if I'm going to talk about the pet's personality and how well are they dealing with the symptoms that they have, and also the care that we're giving, whether it's medications or a harness, or how they're managing around the house, or their anxiety level, because some pets are very anxious, or dogs and cats can get similar to Alzheimer's or dementia, and so how are they handling that anxiety and things like that. The next thing I'm going to talk about is also the family's beliefs. We're all so different of what we believe, right? So some people may be all for doing absolutely everything we medically possibly can, and some people don't think that that's something that they want to deal with or manage or whatever. And then also, when is time is also very subjective to the family. So do we want to wait till every last minute that we have, or do we not even want suffering to even come into the picture at all? And that's a big wide range of time period, if you will. And then the last thing I talk about are the budgets. So do you have there's 4 budgets in life.
Oh, and I love this part.
I know you do.
So yeah, no, because when you say budget, people are thinking money, and she's not talking about money. So listen up.
So there is a financial budget, right? But not just the financial. So because a lot of times things are not actually very expensive towards the end. We're not doing a lot of blood work or X-rays or things like that. It's maybe arthritis medicine or anxiety medication. It's management around the house and things like that. So it's not always the most expensive. But there's the other budget. So we have the monetary budget, the time budget. Do you have enough time to care properly for your pet? So for instance, my own dog, when he was towards the end, he had to be let out every 4 hours, and his medications were every 6 hours. And
Duncan, right?
Duncan, yeah. So I'm not home all the time. I'm working, and so I had to make sure that somebody was home to let him out and give him his medications. And so not all of us have that opportunity.
Right.
So we have a time budget.
Right.
Also, some of us travel for work or something like that. So that's hard. And then the next budget is the physical budget. Do you have enough, abilities to handle your pet? Now, we can all think about a very large breed dog, but what about a 20-pound dog? Lifting them up, giving them the medications, helping them into the car. That could be a struggle for some.
What if you have your own back issues?
Exactly.
Right? And so, we've talked about that before. You can say, well, that person should be able, but if they have chronic issues themselves or back issues or other things like that.
100%.
Right. It may...
A 20-pound dog could be equal to a 100-pound dog to some people, right? And so we don't know what somebody's going through. And then last is the emotional budget.
Yeah.
And that one, everyone, when I say that, they're like, oh yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
And that's very hard, because whether you want to say goodbye sooner than later, because you maybe went through this before with another pet, maybe you yourself are struggling with these issues, and it might be difficult to watch your pet go through it, or you want to wait to the very last moment because maybe this is the last living link to another,
family member.
Right?
A lot of times, someone adopted, this was their mom's dog, and their mom died of cancer, and
now to say goodbye to, that's really hard, so that we may wait a longer period of time. And so as a veterinarian, I always say, at any time, if any one of these budgets is up, then I support your decision to say goodbye. So that's one thing to look at with kind of assessing quality of life. It's also your quality of life. And I know a lot of people, as the caregiver. So the second reason why people will euthanize, the first is quality of life of the pet. It's then caregiver pressure. And it's hard, and it's really hard. And I tell people, you don't know how hard it is until you're in it yourself. Yeah. And then we then have a lot of families think of the guilt of making that decision. And it's not, do not take it as a guilty decision. You are releasing your pet from pain, from maybe nausea, from some other things that they're dealing with. I also suggest doing either any kind of quality of life scale. We have a couple of on our website, but it just helps you think about things that you might not have recognized that's going on with your pet. So a lot of times, like I said, with the dogs, they could have horrible arthritis and they come running in. You don't notice a mild limp or something like that, but they're in a lot of pain, yet they're eating and drinking and having fun. And but they're still in a lot of pain. So and one thing I also really love for families to do is there's the classic bucket list that you can make, but I like to make a joy of living list. And so if you write down, if I think about my Duncan, what made him happy, what made Duncan, and I wrote down that list, 2 things will happen. One is I might realize he's not doing those things, and that will just help me take off my denial goggles, if you will, to be like, wow, these things that made him him and made him happy, he's not doing anymore. The other thing is that it will allow you to do those things that he can still do, so that way, you know, you feel like towards the end that we have done everything medically, physically, emotionally for everybody involved, and it's very helpful then to when you have to say goodbye. And I think it's so important to say goodbye.
Tell.
Oh my gosh! Well, his joy,
I love it.
one of his joys was barking at the Goodyear blimp.
I love that one.
Well, we really love to hate the Goodyear blimp, and so I
love it.
So I was watching that, and towards the end, he got so weak and just tired. He had heart disease.
He didn't care about
He
the
didn't
blimp.
care about the blimp anymore. And you know, it may be food or something like that, but it may be something as small as, you know, snuggling next to you.
But had you not thought about that, you might have sort of missed it.
I would have
You
missed
have
it,
to think about
yes.
those things, I think, beforehand.
Yeah, so write down what makes them them and helpful. But it is the most difficult decision to ever make. There isn't a right or wrong. I think making sure that if your pet is struggling with anxiety or pain or something like that, we can at least, in the meantime, as you're making decisions, help them with some medications just to help them through that. And that's what we do in human medicine,
Yeah.
right? We take a lot of good stuff to make us feel good, and we have that as well. But you know, it's also not a flippant decision. This is not something that you're going to, you know, just watch a video and aha moment. But it's really for you to reflectively think, get everybody involved in the family as well, because what you may think may not be the same as your teenager may think, or your husband may think, or your
So
friends. It's so hard. And get everybody involved. And the other last thing I'll suggest too is, there's such an easy thing to say is like, oh well, when there's more good days than bad. As long as there's more good days than
That is
bad,
so hard.
right? It's so hard. But what is a good day? So you have to decide as a family, what does a good day mean?
And I have seen people's definitions of a good day change, and that's okay.
And that's totally okay.
right? But what
100%.
they thought a good day was morphs and changes over time, and
Over
that's
time.
so it's hard to know.
It's hard to know, but you just have to define, is it that he can get up on his own? Is it that he slept through the night? Or is it that he slept 4 hours through the night? Because in the beginning you're like, yeah, I want him to sleep through the night. And then, he stopped sleeping through the night. And you're
Yeah.
grateful for 4 hours,
Yeah.
right? So just write that down.
Mary, I love the resources that you have. So again, we'll put the link below. It's lapoflove.com, and
Yeah.
you have so many wonderful resources. And I love what you and Dr. Danny have done with Lap of Love. So you have made in-home euthanasia so much more accessible and just a beautiful experience.
Yeah.
And I'm honored to be your friend.
Aw.
And if any veterinarians or veterinary students are watching, you need to hear this woman speak at a veterinary conference. I'm honored to speak with you.
I know, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, because she is brilliant, and so many good resources on your website
Yeah.
for veterinarians and veterinary professionals and for pet owners as well. So
I hope
thank
this was
you.
helpful.
No,
you know,
thank you.
I can talk for hours on it.
I know. Thank you for taking the time.
Yes.
Go to the beach.
Okay, I'm gonna go relax.
And then we're
A
going to
joy of life for me. Yay. Yes, tomorrow's we're speaking.
And thank you everybody for watching. I always ask them to subscribe, so ask them to subscribe.
Oh, please subscribe.
Please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what other things you would like to know. Maybe the other thing, I would love some of your tips about senior patients.
Oh my gosh.
You guys want that?
Yes. Listen to me. Yes.
Gray muzzles?
Gray muzzles all day long.
All day long. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a
Bye.
great day, and we'll see you at the next video. Bye.